I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for another episode of the Midweek Fix at the unusual time of 6:45, 6:40 on a Thursday. On a Thursday, as you can see, we have the return of Max. We have the return of Ollie Ward, and of course, Mr. Regular himself, Mr.
The return of the Max.
Yeah, return.
He's still alive, just like Tupac.
Yeah, see what I mean? This is why you should be doing the intros, bro. That's why you should be doing the intros. Everyone, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. Subscribe to the rest of the lads' channels as well, which is just...
The Leicester lads.
Yeah, the Leicester lads. I haven't put their channels in the title, so I'm going to do that as well. Rookie mistake. Apologies. But before we do, Max, you've been away for a while, bro. How's things? Where have you been? Update the people and what's been going down.
Been in Florida for about 2.5 weeks. It was like 32 degrees every day. Got back and they were like, so the temperature outside is now 3 degrees. And I was like, oh my God, what's happened to England since I've been away? But yeah, I wore my Leeds shirt in the parks one of the days. And I was going on one of the Fast and Furious ride at Universal. And I walked past the guy and they're always like, oh, how many in your party? And I was like, oh, 2. And he's like, I'll go on then. And then as I was walking away, he went, go Leeds. So I've seen a few Leeds fans and stuff. Do you know what? Mostly I saw West Ham fans. Was the most amount of fans I saw was West Ham fans. I thought it was dead weird.
West Ham are massive, as they say.
Yeah, they always go, oh, West Ham are massive, aren't they? But there was quite a few West Ham fans. I think I only saw 1 or 2 Scum fans.
That's great.
Yeah, there you go. A bunch of plastics, eh?
But yeah, very good holiday. Then back to earth and a lovely, entertaining draw, which we'll get.
Did you go on any of the roller coasters?
Yeah, all of them.
Yes, mate. What about that? What's that one in the? What's the one in the Hollywood studios? Is it Rip Ride Rocket? The one where you go on like the chair and you play the tunes while you're on it?
Oh yeah, that one. That one was all right, but I think the best.
All right, that was the sickest one.
It's probably new since you've been. If you've been, it's the Velocicoaster. The one at Jurassic World, but it was class. But yeah.
Do you know what I want to ask you, Max?
Yeah.
How you still look the same?
It's the light.
Having been in the sun.
Mate, that's what? That is a proper one.
It's because I've got bright white lights on my skin.
You'll tell us all, bro. I look browner than you. I've been in sun.
Can you see the tan line of where my watch has been? Where my hand is brown there, and then there's just white.
As the designated foreigner, I will say that is an absolute violation, mate.
The token foreigner. Do you remember the token black guy in like Scary Movie and that?
You wouldn't tell it because you actually look the most stand out of all of us. It's something to do with your lighting, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's all these lights.
You look like you come straight out of Essex, mate.
What, mate? Can't dare for fuck's sake. Ollie,
yes.
We haven't had you for a while.
No.
Where have you been, brother? And how's things? And I like your new setup there as well. It looks nice. Oh,
Thank
that
you,
looks better, Max. Yeah, you look better.
Yeah, no, I've just been, just doing my thing. There's not a lot of content, has there been, last month, really. Started my new job at the BBC as well. Obviously, we know Lewis is the BBC.
No, I didn't know you had a job at the BBC.
Yeah, BBC where I am at. BBC Radio Suffolk,
Gotta love
mate.
some BBC.
Wow.
BBC all round, that's what I say.
I'm doing like a production apprenticeship. So, yeah, I'm just working in the back for now, but soon I'm going to be on your screens. I tell you, I'm going to be on your screens.
Big man.
You already are on my screen. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, true. But yeah, no.
This is why I get all you media students on, so that when you make it big time, I've got connections in the game, That's what it's about.
Makes sense. No, but yeah, it's just, like I said, haven't been doing too much because, Leeds have been
rubbish,
just not doing anything. And then also, the 0-0 was just, we'll get into that, I'm sure.
We will. Yeah, and JT, always talking, mate. How are you?
Always talking. Wow, I'll take that. I'll take that with a pinch of salt. I'm actually quite mute. these days. No, I only speak when I need to speak, and when I speak, it is pure facts, and you better be listening. But no, I'm doing well, man. I'm glad to be here with my boys. Like I say, do football training soon, so that is why it's probably a little bit earlier. But it's great to be here, man. Lot to talk about, really. It's good to get Leeds back going again. You know what I mean? I know it was a terrible game. Let's be real, man. It was about. There was about as much flow as gone off milk in that game, if we're being honest, and it was very boring. But just have Leeds on the weekend again, Leeds next weekend, get into the flow of things is good, man. Yeah. It's good. A lot of things to talk about. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think
hair's grown, JT.
Yeah, it does there. Mambo.
Like hair's grown out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, got a fresh trim today. What can I say, bruv? Yeah.
Jack Harrison vibes. I'm getting Jack Harrison vibes.
Fade,
yeah, you're looking good.
You're
looking good.
Oh, mate, that is slick. That is slick, quick, and Rick all over the gaff, man. Look at it. It is so sharp.
Say whatever we want right now because he's not got his headphones on.
Look at my hand. Thank you very much, Lewis, bro. Thank you very much. Oh, my God. What Lewis even said something kind to me. Wow, this is what is going on today. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, let me just congratulate Lewis as well, who's also got a job with the BBC. So big up to him.
Yeah, mate. BBC's going wild today.
Yeah, man.
Man.
I just want to know when they're going to hit me up.
Well, hey, that's a bit bad, mate.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I'll stick to my bedroom.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I have a face for radio, JT, mate.
Oh, don't put yourself down like that. I'd put you on my 4K TV any day.
Cheers, man.
So, but yeah, no, congratulations to Lewis as well. New job, new role, new digs. Hopefully, it's going well. The boys moving up in this world. The boys are going. We're taking over. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Inshallah, my brothers.
Mashallah. Right. Okay. So let's talk about the weekend then. Max, we haven't heard from you for quite some time. I'm assuming you were back and watched the game.
Yeah, I did a live watch along because I just couldn't get tickets or anything. I'm glad I didn't go because it was such a. It wasn't. Well, let's start from the start. The first sort of half an hour before Sinistera got sent off, it wasn't as bad, but Villa were already trying to slow it down at that point. I thought that Sinistera looked like our brightest spark, the one who was likely to do something. He was dipping in and out of players, not in that way, JT. He was dropping the shoulder, and he just seemed like he was where the danger was going to come from if it was. And then he decided he was going to get sent off. Yeah. So
he was tired of dipping in and out.
I think his sending off was what killed us completely, but Villa did not come there to play football. They came to be another Burnley.
Do you think we were playing football before Sinistera?
I think we were playing better with Sinistera on the pitch, and he looked like our danger man. He looked like the only person who was likely to do anything. But it is hard to try and create anything and to try and play attractive, exciting football if somebody is going to come to Ellen Road and do a Wolves, a Villa, what Burnley did last season. Like, so many of these teams that are in and around us are just playing for a draw or hoping that they can nick a goal on the counter-attack and just playing such boring football. So the fact that we're only one of the ones in that pack that are able to actually at least try and play a bit more entertaining football, I'm glad I support Leeds and not one of those other teams who's just making up the numbers and playing boring, awful football.
Mm-hmm.
See, I would go as far as to say, Ollie, that we do play awful football. But what what is it? I'm turning. I swear, I can't lie.
Turning, mate. Turning. You've been against him the whole time, man.
Listen, it's. I mean, if anything, I think if you flip it, you can take it as a compliment. The teams are coming to Ellen Road and, only trying to play out for a draw. And playing the boring football. I mean, I know it's not a compliment because on the eye, it's really boring to watch, as we saw on Sunday. But you're talking about, I mean, I think if we're talking about styles of football, I love Jesse. I do. I still, and maybe agree with you in the fact that I still don't believe there's a necessary system there in place. if you could sit here and tell me the exact system, I get the formation, I get kind of what we do, but I sometimes I don't know. I mean, I'm fully back in Jesse. I don't know about you, Joe. I mean, I'm sure we'll.
No, but Ollie, what I'll say to you is, right, a team that comes with a low block and looks to sit in.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Leeds United are able to break them down based on what you're seeing at the minute?
I think, not necessarily, but it's a thing where I don't think a lot of teams can. I think, I mean, there's a few, obviously we know your Man Cities and all that. I mean, they're on a different level, but, even when because I live locally in Ipswich, and when I watch them play some mid-table League One team, and they're the big boys in League One, they struggle to break teams down, because when you do sit so far back like Villa were doing, it is hard. I think we've got to give a bit of credit. I mean, I said on my stream that I think if that was last year, in the way we were and the form we were, we'd have lost that game. So
I think a good comparison, well, not a good comparison, but a good thing to mention is that, do you remember that Spurs team of a few years ago under Pochettino? Look, they were brilliant and they made it to Champions League final and everything. The biggest criticism, I've got a mate who's a Spurs fan, he said the biggest criticism that Spurs fans had of that team was, even though they had really good players in the team, they weren't able to break down defences who just sat in. So even top managers and top players do struggle at that. Well, that's why Burnley stayed in the league for so long.
Mate. It's Spurs, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, that Champions League final was the flukiest run I've ever seen, man. They went through 2 games on away goals, man. That was one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen.
You know what I mean, don't you? That the point of
I know you mean.
They were a level above us,
but we had to deal with that the whole time in the Championship, didn't we? Everyone sat back deeper than Lewis's hairline when we were playing him in the Championship. Sorry, mate. I know
he's just giving you a compliment.
I know. He doesn't even have a bad hairline. But no, they were sat so deep back there, deeper than a Tom Daly diving pool. All right, or I should have said Olympic diving pool, man. I'm all over the gaff. But they sat so deep in the Championship, and every week we had to pick them off. So surely we should be used to it by now. It's not like this is a new thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of then proving the point that if we could do it back then, why can't we do it now? And then that's maybe where you've got to look at the manager and maybe...
Yeah, but also the quality of opposition.
Quality of opposition, of course, yeah. We're not playing... Yeah, I was about to say, which was the game that was so like... that game where we won 1-0, and it was the Barnsley. Do you remember that Barnsley game?
Yeah.
That was the one before we got promoted.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
it was the one. Yeah, the one that actually got us promoted.
Yeah, mathematically. Yeah.
Oh,
that was one of the most frustrating.
Held across the own goal type of thing. Was it that?
Oh no!
No, I'm thinking.
Wait,
no.
What?
Oh, we
Bamford, won. Crossed it in.
Yeah,
and
we won.
Scored
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really know what I'm on about. To be
maybe
fair.
you're thinking of a different game. We
cost our own goal, but we won.
Yeah, no. As in it counted as his goal. He whipped it in, and I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, you make a good point where it's like we should be used to it. Obviously, the difference in opponent is better, but yeah, I kind of at a stage now where I'm like. I don't know. I try to be positive, so I don't really say anything.
Sometimes I think it genuinely does come down to the players themselves, not just the manager, where I think a lot of our players over the last couple of years, and under Bielsa as well, they had a tendency to try and almost walk the ball into the net. And you see some teams, and they will just have if you've got a player like Coutinho, which obviously we don't, but the fact that Coutinho, he always tries to have a shot from the edge of the box, or Buendia, that at least they were trying to have a bit of a crack from the edge of the box, even though they were playing boring, not boring because it's a valid style of football because it works, but because they were playing very defensively, they still had shots from distance and stuff. I feel like we don't chance our arm sometimes. We don't just take a pop shot at a goal, because a goalkeeper will spill the ball or make a mistake every now and again. And if you've got, I don't know, Sinisterra shoots from the edge of the box and Bamford or whoever's there is able to go and pick up the pieces. Sometimes we just look like we can't break anyone down because we try and walk it into the net.
Yeah. Yeah, we just got to take some shots. Sorry. No. That's it.
Yeah, JT, you've heard what the lads have had to say. I know you'll be pretty pro Marsh Marsh. I'm assuming anyway.
Pro Marsh.
Pro Marsh. I'm not.
Well, I thought it was quite. I don't know what they were talking about. I thought it was quite an exciting game, actually. I thought it was.
No, you're lying.
I thought it was an enthralling tactical battle. It was like a chess game between two geniuses.
It's exciting.
So
if your favorite
slow
video game
pace.
slide tackle simulator.
Well, it was slow. It was methodical. You're waiting to see who was going to pull the next piece out of play. No, in all fairness, it was terrible to watch.
Yeah.
And we've had a bit of that, really. I mean, I said before, I didn't rate our creative play that well. I never thought we created enough chances. I remember we had this debate, a few weeks ago, and where we were saying, why don't we just have a striker to put the ball in the back of the net? I don't think we create good enough chances, really. Whether that's us not shooting enough, which I think we do have a problem with. We've seen it with Sinistera recently, though. He has actually been a player who is willing to pop the odd shot off from long range, and he's had some success with it, really. Against Barnsley,
was like, wasn't it? And he was able to shoot from distance sometimes, and sometimes he just fly in the top corner because the keeper's not expecting it, and it's like, just have a shot.
I think Joffrey's that kind of player as well, and we'll talk about Joffrey and Jesse's comments a little bit later on.
I don't think we can go another season where we're just relying on the one player again. If it can't, you know how we did with Rafinha last season.
No, but we've got a lot of but what about Aronson? I've seen Aronson rip a few shots off.
No, he's gone missing since Chelsea.
He has a little bit gone.
It's actually frustrating me.
That's a bit harsh to say he's gone missing.
What's he done though?
He hasn't been our strongest player.
He hasn't done anything. Him and Harrison haven't done anything.
I feel like I may be making excuses for him, but I feel like that attacking midfield role is one of the roles where if your team's not playing well and they're not providing you can go missing, because how can you really be creative if you're not getting service into you? I don't know.
I genuinely put it all down to the system. I do, because it's like, how can you expect Brendan Aronson to be creative when he literally can't swing a cat when he gets the ball? Like, it's too tight. Yeah. It's too tight. Like, there's no... So the only player who's looked half decent has been Luis Sinistera. And that's been when he's picked it in wideish areas and had a bit of space with which to operate in and beat a man. I think someone like Aronson, especially playing so central, it's like, and he's not the biggest. Do you know what I mean? He's easy to.
Yeah.
He doesn't
physicality.
have physicality.
He was.
Whereas if he has that physicality, maybe. He
so would you argue that he should be playing on the wing then?
Potentially on the right side of it, yes.
Didn't he play on the right against Chelsea?
Sinistera?
Yeah, against Chelsea, he did. Yeah.
I think you have to drop Harrison in that case.
Yeah, I think you do.
And how can you drop Harrison? Harrison's been, if you look at the season overall, he's probably been our best player, is he not?
That doesn't mean that Harrison doesn't get a game ever. I just think that maybe against Palace. Oh no, well we don't have Sinistera anyway, do we? Against Palace.
No, I mean, it'll be
But Aronson, we need an attacking midfielder then. That's why I said we need a creative midfielder, because you're telling me now that Aronson's not good enough in that central attacking midfield role. Who are we going to put there?
I didn't say that. I think he is. But I just think when we're playing against these teams, for me, and Bielsa used to get battered for this, and people say, I don't know, no, he didn't have a plan B. And his plan B was...
You know who has plan Bs? Guys who lose. That's who has plan Bs. Let me tell you something.
But for me, at this point, I would advocate us having a different plan when teams set up the way they do.
So plan B, absolutely.
Plan B, yes. Now, under Bielsa, I would never on it, because for me, Bielsa is plan A better with his style, and eventually it will win out, or you will create and you will get opportunities, which we found. Even when we got battered, we always had opportunities. I'm already in the headspace that on Sunday against Palace, that game's going to be minging. Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to it. From a fan perspective, I'm like, the game's going to be minging and they're probably going to beat us. And I hate that I am going into games now with that mental attitude, and I put it down to the system that we adopt. I'm happy for me to be surprised, but I think this might sound mad. I'm actually, and I don't think we'll win, but I'm more looking forward to the Arsenal game at Ellen Road than I am as going to Selhurst Park, because Arsenal will come and play, which means it'll leave us an opportunity to counter-press and come at them. Whereas Palace will go, shut out at the back, over the top, Zaha, Eze, whoever. And let's remember, in pre-season, Palace were better than us, and they had about 6 players not in that game. The likes of Zaha, the likes of Eze, they all stayed back home. I think it's going to be a very, very tough.
But we're building our system then. We're still building our system. Look, it's still early doors under Marsh. I know everyone wants to now look at certain managers and they like with Gerrard and stuff and completely make a big deal out of it. Like, it has to be now. It has to be instant. But we need to be giving managers, in my opinion, 6 to 12 months plus to build your system, to stamp in. Look at Arteta when he first came in. Everyone was saying this is terrible, boring football. This is anti-football. This is absolutely criminal. I was hearing people say, because they were creating nothing. The midfield, they were weak in the midfield. They literally had no style. But now look at them. Now they're smashing it. They gave him some time. They gave him the time to invest, to get the players he wanted in. And look at what's happening with him now. It's still relatively early days of Marsh, which is why you're going to see such polarizing performances, such as going against Chelsea and absolutely running them off the park, playing against Villa, and it's so boring. Because it's so early doors, you're not going to have any consistency with your play. So I think people are just, nowadays, people are too reactive with things. You have a great performance against Chelsea. All of a sudden, Leeds are the best team in the world. We're the best thing since sliced bread. You have a couple of poor performances. All of a sudden, oh, he's terrible. Get him out. He's washed. And you see this with all managers and all football now. And I think people just need to, it's never as bad as you think things are. And it's never as good as you think things are.
That's
relax.
I say this all the time as well. The biggest difference between the players, the teams at our level and the teams right at the top is just consistency. So we are capable of playing so well we can beat Chelsea, but we're also capable of then playing really badly against Palace and losing. So where we are at the moment is exactly where you'd expect us to be. We've got a new system, a lot of new players to integrate, a new manager, and we're mid-table. And we all said at the start of the season that we'll be 12th to 14th. I think I said 13th. Joe, you said 14th. Stuff like that in our pre-season predictions.
Yeah, I said 6th. So.
And we've played 7 games, and we're in 12th. And so, and we've also got a game in hand on most of the Premier League. So, by and large, it's worked so far, what we've done. And I think you do just have games where you get in a bit of a rut, don't you? Like this Villa game, I think to try and be positive about this weekend, I think this Villa game can be written off as that we're a bit rusty. We haven't played in weeks. Even like the Brentford game, we lost 5-2, but we created enough chances to score 5 goals ourselves in that game. But defensive mistakes, awful defensive mistakes, which Marsh can't legislate for whatsoever, completely cost us in that game. So I think even the Brentford game, there were a lot more positive signs than there were in the Villa game. Hopefully, we can just write that one off as a bad do, and we can go into the next game and actually play a bit more football. I think because Patrick Vieira's been at Palace a while. I know they haven't had a great start to the season, but I feel like they may be a little bit more, especially at home, they may be a little bit more attacking this season, at least try and come out and score against us with the likes of the Zaha and some of the other players that they've got. You've got to think that they might try and push for a goal, not just be dead negative.
Yeah.
Just trying to look on the positive side of things.
Well put.
Yeah. And Lewis does say, look, 3 points more now than we had from the same fixtures last season.
Yeah.
So last year, it's not really, that's not filling me with a lot of confidence, to be honest, mate.
It's
filling me with something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's funny we mentioned Brentford because I remember doing a match reaction after that. I did watch the game. And there was no real...
What a plastic, mate.
There was no real thing that I could say was wrong with the game apart from individual errors. That's why I kind of was like, okay, this is a bit of a write-off game. And the game against Villa, we have got to remember, we did have 10 men. And the thing is, I think we're more happy with the point than probably Villa should be. Because the last 10, they were proper going for it. And we just looked defensively good. And I'll give props to Wailing, who I remember having a discussion here saying, I don't think he's good enough anymore. I thought he came on, he was fantastic. And, Coops was a bit hit and miss, but I think he was good to have back there. But yeah, I think, if we take the positives out of it, like I said, last season we're losing that game.
Couple of good chances at the end, though. Couple of good chances for Leeds. Bamford, if he squared one of them earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
even one of them we could have squared earlier. Can I say the way we got that chance actually was a beautiful flick on by Firpo. The ball comes down the left, jumps
had a
up,
hell of a game.
nods it down the line. He had a cracking game,
I was
Firpo, when he
seeing,
came on.
I was seeing,
Defensively superb, offensively even better.
yeah.
Do
No,
you know-
I was seeing like people slating him on
What?
on Twitter, and I was like, there was so like many more like players that were
He
just not
didn't
as good.
step a foot wrong. He barely
Yeah,
had
no,
a
neither.
minute on the pitch.
I gave him credit, and I thought of you, JT. I thought of you, mate.
Thank you, man.
Do you know
I
what,
was
though?
thinking that. I ain't starting, man.
Do you
That's
know
the
what I will? Do you know what I will say on the Luke Ayling thing? For me, had Luke Ayling started this game, Leeds United probably would have scored in that first half because
I think the same thing with Firpo. I think if they both started, it would have been a different game.
I thought Rasmus had a very good game, though.
Yes, but what I will say, for me, when watching the game, I think there's a reluctance, whether or not it's because he got caught out a few times in the first game, for him to get forward, because there was a number of occasions where the ball was crossed, and I genuinely believe that Luke Ayling would have been on the back of it.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down here. Rasmus, like I said, for me, sometimes it's that confidence, man. We spoke about that confidence to take the player on.
Yeah.
He's shitting his jocks, man.
Well, that's the thing, because he's had such a meh start to the season. I think he's now worried to go back to doing what you used to do. Like, it's fine if you're up there creating chances, but then
because he used to commit his wife and kids to every attack, and then he used to get caught out. But now he's scared.
It's annoying because I swear we all said he will be the one that's just going to fit in nicely, do the job, and he's been obviously.
Actually, I got to correct you there. Me and Lewis did say it could go either way, so shout out to
I was saying he was the next Pontus, mate. I thought he was the next, but you know what? I think I
he's
don't
got
know.
it in him.
Yeah.
Against apparently in the international break against France, he was amazing and kept Mbappe quiet all night. So he's got that in his locker, and I think Joe absolutely hit the nail on the head with the fact that in that Wolves game he just got absolutely span, and everyone was like, "What is he doing?" And so after that, it's happened to him a couple of times as well. So I think he is a bit nervous to go forward. But the way Liverpool do it when Trent goes forward, Henderson's job was always to, as the holding midfielder or as a central midfielder, Trent would push up and then Henderson would just go across, not all the way into right back, but at least cover that position. And you've got to feel like if Rasmus goes chasing up there, Tyler Adams could just easily go across a little bit and just plug that space a little bit more. So, I don't know. I feel like that maybe that's something that Marsh needs to.
I was about to say, does that come down to managerial?
Yeah, but that's not all. That's not all. It's not necessarily just a matter of he's scared someone's going to do something defensively. He can just be scared to do something offensively. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to go forward on the ball. That is a beautiful mug, by the way. A mug holding a beautiful mug. Would you believe it? Can't tell which mug's more beautiful. But no, it takes a lot of confidence to go forward, especially when things aren't going well, to call for the ball. Because when you go forward, if you misplace a pass, you get all the jeers from the crowd, you get people heckling him, whatever. The easy thing to do is to get near that halfway line, show responsibility, look for Tyler Adams next to you, look for Sinister, and just pass it off to them. Just try and lay the ball off. So it's not necessarily that he's scared someone's going to get past him. I think he just lacks confidence.
I never thought that a player like him would be a confidence player. I thought he would always just be raring to go. You know,
the toughest, the people with the toughest exterior are the softies inside.
Exactly. So I think what he needs is Palace game. He needs man of the match. That's what he needs. He just needs something to just get him going, because there is a player in there. There is a player.
Oh no, he will have at least 1 or 2 games this season where he is breathtaking and he is a clear man of the match, and every match of the day will be raving about him. There will be a couple of games this season. I can see it already.
I hope you're right.
Oh man,
you're right.
Hopefully Palace can be the first.
Yeah. Just on the other side as well, JT. Obviously, you mentioned Junior, and I thought he did okay. And Senior, my apologies. I'd even mentioned, I've already mentioned a few times that we need a proper left back there. And the reason I say that is because when the ball goes out to him, there was a number of occasions where Pascal could have whipped a ball in that a fullback would do, maybe across to the front post for Rodrigo to get across, or just attack the space sometimes. And I think Strauch he doesn't really have that in his locker, and I'm not going to hold that against him because he's a centre back and he's playing out of possession.
Yeah.
So for me, I would advocate this weekend as well, starting Junior, and I know that
you get him in.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Max, do you disagree?
Be careful what you say here.
It's tough to say that Strauch needs to be dropped, isn't it? Because I think he's been one of our better players at the start of the
left
season.
back.
Well, that's the issue. So
that's where he's been playing, isn't it?
This kind of calls into question Cooper as well, doesn't it? In the same sort of way. But I thought that when Cooper came in, a lot of people saying he was shaky, but I think the major thing that he's good at is those clearances. When any set piece comes into the box, it's just Cooper's head every time. You're like, oh, it's him again and again and again. And he's so commanding. I think if you put Strauch in at centre back, there's no leaders in that back line.
True.
So I think it kind of has to be Cooper.
Cock.
Yeah, they're not leaders. They're not vocal.
Yeah, but then you've got Ayling next to him.
They're good. What they are is good. They're modern centre backs. Okay, they're modern centre backs, which means very good technically, good with the ball at their feet, but not leaders, not stalwarts of the back line. Liam Cooper's like one of the old guard. Like
I
he's
agree
not
with
the
you.
most technically gifted, but
Can Liam Cooper do it for 38 games a season?
No, he can't. But as he's available at the moment and he's club captain, I feel like if you're gonna have a more attacking option in Firpo, you have to drop Strauch. But I can't see any way around it. But I just feel bad for him because I think I really like him and I hope that he is our centre house starting.
Does it not make a difference if you have Christensen or Ayling there? So could you not say Ayling could make up for some of the leading deficiencies if you put Ayling in there and then you're able to go with Koch and Struijk, or do you think that it doesn't make a difference?
You can't drop Cooper. I thought he was good. And he's our captain.
Does Struijk deserve to be dropped either? No.
No, really. but right, I wouldn't call it dropping. He's just playing out of position, and Strauch's going to have to bide his time. And
exactly, but has he not earned the right to be given a crack in his natural position?
Not while Cooper's at the football club.
Yeah, so I think
next season, I agree, he will start there.
I think all Leeds fans have in their head that the centre back partnership for the next few years they want it to be Koch and Strauch.
Yeah, but
it's. Like if it was, I get torn between what I think should happen and what I think will happen. You know what I mean? Like the decision the manager would make. Like if you completely take heart out of it, you kind of want to put Strauch and Koch in there now and cement that partnership. But because Cooper's the club captain and stuff, he will get picked. Yeah. Because Marsh, he loves leaders. That's one of his big things, isn't it? His leadership group and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't think he does drop Cooper, but I think Strauch's he's gonna be dropped, but not. He's very close to being in that first team. So I think later on in the game, Leeds are 1-0 up, 2-0 up. Then I think Strauch gets brought on for Firpo as a more strong defensive option.
Yeah, I don't really necessarily see it as dropped. I think under Bielsa, it was if you're not in the lineup, then you've been dropped. Because I remember the first lineup against Leicester when Marsh first came in, everyone was like, "He's been dropped. He's been dropped," and it was kind of like, "No. It's just how football is. I don't think. You know what? Actually, to change my point, I kind of liked. When we went down to 10 men, I kind of liked the 3 back with the 2 wing backs. I didn't mind that. But again, is that like showing quite a negative side of our, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't think it always has to be negative, that system. No. Because you look at somebody like Reece James. So I don't know I only saw the highlights anyway, but Reece James in the Champions League last night.
Yeah.
Somebody like that, he is basically a winger and he's scoring goals and he's up there. I don't think it has to be.
That's Reece James, bro.
Yeah, but
poor man's Trent, though.
I think the principle is similar.
Trent's dead, man. He can't defend. Anyway, that's for another day.
I think the principle is the same: is that you can play an exciting brand of football with essentially 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whichever way you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I think that also opens up an option to play Harrison as a wing back.
Yeah.
Because I think the way that Bielsa used to sometimes leave Harrison to have an entire side of the pitch to himself. Do you remember when it was like almost a running joke that Harrison would have the entire left side of the pitch to himself? I think he's got that in the locker. If he's got Strouk behind him as the left centre back, then he's played as a left back before. He knows how to cover that space. I don't know. I feel like it could provide a different option, especially against teams maybe of a better caliber, teams who are going to be a little bit more attacking. I don't know. I think there are options there, and he's
he doesn't like playing left back though, because otherwise he would have played. He would have played left back. He would have been our left back now if I think he was really comfortable playing there. Because Marsh tried it a bit in
pre-season. Left back, is it? It's left wing back, which is.
Well, I think Firpo would shine in that role. I don't think there's any need to put Harrison there. I do like the 3. I see what you mean. It doesn't have to always be so defensive. Because
I think it probably gives Rasmus a little bit of, if he was to play in that system, it probably gives him a little bit of leeway in terms of his. Yeah, he wouldn't be as anxious about people getting in behind him because there's 3 there. I don't know. I feel
but like I said, then that depends on what the root of his issue is. If that's the root of his issue, then it could help him. But if the root of his issue is just confidence going forward, it's not going to help him. If you shirk responsibility once, you're going to shirk responsibility again. Nothing to do with how many people you could pack the whole of the M25 behind you. It's not going to make a difference, mate. If he doesn't have the confidence to take a man on, he doesn't have the confidence to take a man on. But if you just chuck in an extra player, an extra attacker to what we had before against Villa, where we had the 10 men, if you throw Sinisterra into how we were playing with the 3 at the back, I think we would have had a lot more attack.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm getting quite like the thing is with this 3 at the back that could work with so many different pairs and partnerships as well. So you could chuck Aiden into a back 3, and you could chuck Pascal obviously into the back 3. But the thing is, I know I'm more worried if you go more as a back 5. Like we struggle for goals with a back 4, so I think it might. Well, I don't know. It might not, because if you're saying Rasmus getting forward, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
This is cracking analysis. I gotta say, the BBC are watching this. Like, get this guy on the radio. This is
the issue, though, isn't it? It's that
I just don't know.
This system was working and has worked against other teams, but individual errors and defensive mistakes have led to goals. And so if we can cut that out, like dropping Diego Llorente, which we can say is being dropped because he was so bad, I think like this system can work and does work, because it's just not as, when we were getting completely battered under Bielsa, the system, we knew it had worked before, but sometimes you were like, this is a bit mad to be drawn out this much. I think this one's still pressing, but a little bit more conservative in defence. But the manager can do nothing about defensive mistakes. So, I don't know. Like I was saying before, I just hope that the Villa game was a one-off because we had 10 men and because they were playing.
A decent point. I really do. I came away with that thinking it's a decent point. Like,
but would you have thought that before kickoff, or only after Sinisterra got sent off?
It definitely played a big factor when Sinisterra got sent off, but
I had us down for 3 points in this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Villa at home is a winnable game, especially given their form.
I don't know. I just don't. I get it. Yeah, I do get it, but I just do think
Villa are pants, mate.
Yeah, we've got to remember who we are as well, though. Sometimes
we ain't pants. We are the pants.
I do think we do have to do that. We finished 17th last season. What gives us the rights to turn over any team?
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Forget last season. It's about this season, mate.
Even
while you're living in the rearview mirror, we're going forward.
Even if your ambition
Villa last season were meant to be gassed up at the beginning of the year. Look at them, dead food, mate. We should be destroying them right now. They're there for the taking, man.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just think that sometimes we can be too overconfident as a fan base of where we are as a club right now.
But I don't think.
Do you think beating Villa though? They've been bad this year, Ollie.
They have been bad. No, they have been bad. But I mean, yeah, okay, maybe we could have gone for the 3 points, but I can't.
Should have though.
but we tried. We did try to go for the 3 points.
No, well, yeah, I'd hope we tried to go for the 3 points, but we didn't.
Well,
show
Villa
enough
didn't, though, did they? Do
gusto,
you know what I
enough
mean?
muster.
You can say we tried.
Well,
but...
you could say, yeah, but you were saying they did at the end of the game. Once we went down to 10 men, they did.
Yeah, in
still
like the
try
last
and...
5 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
when they were like, "Oh crap, actually, we're shit. We need to actually go get a goal now."
Tell you what, we haven't mentioned. Ollie Watkins is awful.
Yeah,
The amount of chances they could have.
very
they probably
profligate.
They probably could have actually won that game 2 or 3-0 if he'd have finished his dinner. He just missed everything he got, and I was like, I said on my stream, I think I can't we almost dodged a bullet not signing him because I know we got Rodrigo instead. So it's like,
Whoa.
do you want to eat shit or eat shit?
Whoa,
But,
whoa! What the
but
hell,
Ollie
man?
Watkins
Guys are top
on
goal
Sunday
scorer.
was terrible.
Guys are what the hell, man?
I'll
What
tell
are
you
you just
someone
standing for
who's-
Rodrigo for?
He got lucky for a couple of games, man.
Lucky.
Someone saying about why is Joffrey falling down the pecking order. I don't know if he is, but I'll tell you someone who is and who I have not been impressed with.
Patrick Bamford.
No, Sam Greenwood. I think
Absolutely, man. No, I thought in pre-season he was poor. I could see it.
no, so did I. And I think his attitude at the moment is, I think every game he's trying to start a fight, and he got sent off again last night. And I'm like, I just don't know. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last. No. Yeah, did he get sent off last night?
Or Tram, man. Under 21.
No. Oh, maybe. Was it another game the other? I don't even know. He got sent off though, and it just, I remember putting out a tweet saying, because he comes on and he just gets a yellow card and just does nothing, and I'm not a fan of him anymore.
He is from Sunderland.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's ever since he met me at the gym, he went to his head, didn't it? I asked him for a picture and he went to his head.
I just don't know what his position is. I really don't.
I don't think Sam knows. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I guess I posed the question. Can I just address something in the comments as well? The disrespect for Liam Cooper from some parts of this chat is flabbergasted me. People are saying he was never good enough. Bro, he's been playing in the Premier League now for 3 seasons. If you're not good enough, then you won't be doing that. I think the disrespect for him is crazy. It's no coincidence that Liam Cooper came back into this football side and we got a clean sheet. We've only kept 2 in 17 games. 2 in 17. Yeah. Don't know how many of them Liam would have played, but he's been out all season. And he's come back and guess what? We get a clean sheet. The disrespect for him I never understand it. I never understand it.
I think sometimes it's almost within fan bases, it becomes fashionable to hate a certain player or to talk trash about a certain player.
An easy cop out, isn't it?
Yeah, and
like
Cooper
Tyler Roberts.
I think sometimes it is justified, but other times everybody just says, like, everybody started calling him League One Liam, but
it's stuck.
I don't remember seeing enough bad mistakes that have led to shots or led to goals to warrant calling him things like that. Like, you do see, like, Harry, he's better than Harry Maguire on the basis of what he's done in the last couple of months, or do you know what I mean, in terms of actual mistakes that Harry Maguire's made that have led to goals. Liam Cooper doesn't really make that many mistakes.
The only thing I do say about Cooper is that he needs to stop the shirt pulling. He is a Premier League defender.
Oh, he's notorious for it. It's just
it worries me. And we've got VAR.
Well, we used to be coming up against Kappa shirts. Now you got Nike, Adidas.
Yeah,
well, you blame the guy.
But the thing is, like, it's VAR now. Like, and he done it. Remember the Derby game that he gave away a penalty, because it winds me up each time. You're a defender, defend. Get the shirt afterwards, you know.
It's one game played this season in the Premier League and 0 goals conceded.
Yeah, no, fair.
For them that say it's not good, you need to.
Melier worried me that game, to be fair.
He flapped at the first cross. He flapped at the first cross, and I went, oh, hopefully that's just one, and he won't do that again.
Bro, he's flappy hand Melier, man. I was surprised. He was actually like catching.
He was playing Flappy Bird.
Early on in the season, he was actually catching shots. Yeah. He was punching a couple, but boy, the past couple of weeks, he's been back to good old flappy hand Melier. Just
didn't lead to goals.
This little.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is the. He actually kept a clean sheet, didn't he? But I did see a tweet that said something like,
the sheet was clean.
It was something like, I swear. outside of our fan base, no one rates Meslier.
No,
Like,
I agree,
criminal.
yeah.
And like, no, I just there's still parts of him that I'm obviously he's young, but there's still parts of him that I'm like it does worry me. Like I thought his distribution, I think's getting worse. I don't know if it's just
Well,
me.
no, I think it's actually got better than what it was. His distribution used to be
don't
actually
know.
like,
We
oh
give away
my
so
God,
many
his-
throw-ins.
mate. No, I'm sorry, man. Stevie Wonder's even looking at his distribution, and he's getting shivers at night. That is
I don't know,
his
man.
distribution was scary back
You
in
need
the
to be
day,
more
man.
of a leader. You need to be more of a leader as a goalkeeper.
There's a few things with Melly. I think sometimes it's what he's being asked to do. He's almost doing the same thing as what he did under Bielsa, where he tries to clip it out to the fullback. You know, he just does like a little dink over to the fullback. But that's quite a hard skill to pull off because
And 9 times out of 10 it's gone out for a throw-in, isn't it?
yeah, and I think that's what he's being asked to do to try and start the play. If there's nobody to pass to feet, if Cooper's not on to pass to feet because Watkins is closing him down or something, I think he's being asked to clip it out to the fullbacks. And a lot of the time, it does go out for throw-ins. And you've got to think that that's what he's being asked to do. But like, I think those who know football rate him. There's a website called Scouted Football. And they look at all the best like young talent in Europe and stuff. It's dead good if you want to go and check it. It's not a bloody advert or anything, but it's just interesting.
What's it called?
Scouted Football.
Cool, I'll check that out.
I'll be in the description down below.
But Melié's on there as one of the best young goalkeepers in Europe. And if you've got to think, he's the youngest goalkeeper ever to make 50 appearances in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And
he's got the clean sheet record as well, hasn't he? He beat Joe Hart for the youngest keeper, 20 clean sheets or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, he's got bags and bags of talent, and some of the saves that he makes when he flicks it over the bar and he's, I think, reflexes and his diving saves and stuff. I think a lot of that does come naturally, and that's instinct, those reflex saves that he makes because he's so long and big. But I think the things where he has time to think about it, like when he tried to take it around, when Saka took it off him? Oh, was it Nketiah? Nketiah took it off him in that Arsenal game. I think when he has time to think, sometimes that's when it gets in his head a little bit and he messes up. But like natural instincts, he's amazing as a shot stopper. But yeah, I just think that comes with age though. And he's getting so much experience at such a young age that like you've seen Ben Foster's only just retired. He's 39. Buffon's still playing. Like keepers have a lot longer of a career, and he's only just at the start of his getting more experience than most keepers at professional level ever get at his age in the first team. So yeah.
Well, you were. I mean, I agree with you when you were saying about the kicking with Meslier. That's what he's supposed to be. That's what he's been told to do. I do think it with a lot of the players they're still in that stage of, are we playing under Bielsa or are we playing under Marsh? There's still that thing where I see it as they still don't really know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean by that? Or is that just me being critical?
I think maybe overcritical.
Do you think?
You don't think they know what they're doing under Marsh? You don't think you understand?
I still think there's a bit of because at the start he didn't want to do such high pressing. They just done it anyway, and then Marsh was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, we'll do high pressing." Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's still a bit of I don't know. I still think there's a bit of
Bielsa DNA in them to run that, but I don't know.
It's not a bad thing.
I think maybe when Marsh first came in, he wasn't expecting them to. I don't know, because at Salzburg and in the past, he does want to press high, but he just wants to press in more specific situations where the Leeds players were used to just chasing the ball down as much as humanly possible, where I think he wants them to conserve their energy a little bit more and just press when there's like his trigger points that he likes them to press on. I don't know. I think he's come in and he's realised that these players are already used to pressing, and maybe he doesn't have to do as much as he thought he might in terms of actual fitness and getting them to run, getting them to do the press. I don't know. It's one of them where he's kind of inherited a squad that's got a DNA that's lasted the last 3 or 4 years, which you don't really get in modern football anymore. Managers don't stay that long. So they had that ingrained in them. And I feel like that will take time to change back into his new way of thinking, but it is only the first 7 games of the new season.
Yeah, we've got to remember it's early days, isn't it? It's early days.
Early doors, early doors.
It is. So let's look ahead to the weekend then. What's confidence like going into this one, JT? How are you feeling ahead of Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park?
Oh, we're gonna destroy them. We are going to smack them silly, all right? And this isn't just delusion, because I told you I wasn't feeling very confident about Villa. But Palace, come on, man. Palace, if you think that they're going to be able to stop us out, if you think Leeds aren't going to score a goal in 90 minutes against Crystal Palace, then I'm sorry, but you are actually delusional. Because we are going to take them down. First of all, I'm really scared that he won't start Firpo, actually. I am really genuinely scared that he might actually go strike left back again. But I'm not happy we're not going to have Sinistera, because I think, especially on form, he is our best attacker. It's only a matter of time before Jack Harrison comes back into form. Only a matter of time before Aronson comes back. Bamford, is he going to get at least 45 minutes? I think Rodrigo could do some business beforehand, which could put it off. Without the attacking midfielder as well, I think we might see a mix of both Bamford and Rodrigo. And I really hope we get to see a bit of Willie Nonto as well. I do want a bit of Willie. I want a bit of Willie. So hopefully we can see some of him. Pause. Nonto. Hopefully we can see him in action, because I think that big man, little man combo with like a Nonto and a Bamford could be absolutely saucy. But I don't see any reason why we're going to see the same kind of performance we saw against Villa. Not with someone like Marsh. When he sees a poor performance like that, he switches things up, he changes things, he's very quick to react to these things. I think we'll take the game to them. I think you'll see another Chelsea performance.
I tell you what's key though, the one thing you mentioned just there, the one thing that mentioned was Patrick Bamford. My whole attitude and outlook on this team changes if I know Patrick Bamford's fit, firing and ready to go. If he starts at the weekend, my mood will instantly change. I was excited for Villa. Then Bamford doesn't start and I'm like, he spent a month off and he's still not fit enough to start. Then he's been injured. He's got another knock. I feel that he's broken. Yeah, I think that's the issue here. Patrick Bamford's broken. Mm-hmm. Someone came at me in my comments for wanting him to start when I said he was broken. Let me just clear that up for you. Broken, as in injured. I still think he's a top player. When I refer to a player being broken, I mean they can't get fit. They won't stay fit. That's what I mean by broken. But if Patrick Bamford starts at the weekend, he's able to occupy defenders. They're without Joachim Andersen, who for me is one of the best centre-backs outside the top 6. So it's only Gueye and Tompkins. I think he gets joy being able to, be in a battle with them. But not only that, he's able to keep possession of the ball and then bring in the likes of Harrison, Aronson, Rodrigo, whoever's in the 3 behind that striker. Without him, we ain't the one, because Rodrigo's not that profile.
I don't think we've got anybody else who's got the same level of physicality as Bamford or can do the same job in terms of holding the ball up. Like, I don't know if this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like Gelhardt probably isn't a lone striker.
No.
He really needs help up there. Like, he's got that drop of the shoulder and stuff, but I just feel like he needs more help. I feel like that Bamford has got that in his locker where he can back into a player, be strong, and bring the ball. He does it all the time. He just brings the ball out of the air and just passes it behind him. Aronson's on, and Harrison's making a run. He's the glue in that attack. He just links everybody together. When you put somebody else in there, even like Rodrigo, it just feels like it's quite disjointed and it's not quite there. Like, I don't know. Bamford is just our best striker, not in terms of just he's probably not even our best finisher. I'd say we've got people who are better at scoring goals than Patrick Bamford. But
such as
Gelhardt. I think he's probably
Gelhardt is not a better finisher than Patrick Bamford.
I think he is, but
no way he's been as consistent.
I genuinely don't even think Bamford could score some of the, I know it's only in the under 23s, but some of the goals that Gelhardt scored, I genuinely don't think Bamford could do that.
No, I hear what you mean. Maybe from long range, and technically, yeah. But in terms of composure in front of goal,
yeah, I'm just
I
trying to
don't
make the
think
point that I feel like he's more important as a link-up player, and he glues that attack together. He brings everybody in around him, and we just look more comfortable with the ball in the final third with Bamford on the pitch than we do with anybody else. And Rodrigo, he's had a few good games there, but he's not. He doesn't link up the play well enough for me.
No, he definitely doesn't do that. And I think, like, even at the weekend, the change should have been instantaneous. But it is what it is. Ollie, thoughts going into the weekend's game?
I didn't actually know that Anderson wasn't playing. Is that a suspension or injury? Or
Yeah, I think he's out injured, mate. I think.
well, that's like you said. Outside of the top six, he's a fantastic centre back. You know, I mean, he's really up there. I kind of agree with the Bamford, all the Bamford talk about without him, it's a different game. I don't think he's the best finisher at the club. I don't think Joffy's good enough to play alone. I'd like to see Willie next to Bamford.
Who is our best finisher then? Someone give me answers.
I think I'd say
Rodrigo.
Yeah, I'd say Rodrigo's a better finisher.
What? Isn't that what you want in your striker?
Yeah, but no, we need more than that, JT. Come on, man, you can see that.
Bamford
if
is.
You think Haaland is probably the best finisher in the Premier League. Well, take Kane out of the equation, people like that. But you know what I mean. He's up there with the best, but his link-up play isn't fantastic. But because City are such an amazing team around him, they just put stuff on a plate for him.
Yeah,
I think
but Haaland's a freak as well.
Yeah, but I think a Leeds attack needs a bit more help. And if you put Haaland in that Leeds team, I don't think he does that well.
No.
Don't take that out of context. He's not. I mean that he scored 14 goals for City. He would not have scored that amount of goals for Leeds because we wouldn't create that amount of chances for him without him getting involved in the play. Like it's not. I'm not saying that he wouldn't score goals for Leeds. He's obviously be our best player. We don't
create enough chances. That's our problem. We don't create enough chances. The thing is, I think it's a simple thing of if you keep the key players quiet. I know it's quite cliche to say, but if you keep the Zaha's quiet, then I think we've got a chance. But you do know, like, sometimes I've watched Zaha and he can turn up. As much as I don't like him, he can turn up, and there's a football player in there, unfortunately.
He's been awesome this season as well. Yeah. Like someone said earlier, Palace have only won one game this season. Not looking at the games that they've played Chelsea, they've played Liverpool, they've played City, they've played Arsenal.
And they lost to Chelsea in the 90th minute. And things like this. I think Palace aren't an easy team to beat, especially at Selhurst Park as well. It's going to be. I'm not going to be boring and say I think I'd be happy with a draw, but I'm going to be boring and say I'll be happy with a draw. But can we keep taking these draws? We need to go for the 3 points, obviously. And we've got nothing to lose when we're away from home. Nothing to lose. So I think, I don't know how I feel for the game. I hope it is a massive. I did not know that Anderson was out, and that's definitely a positive for Leeds.
Aerially as well, he's probably one of our best centre backs.
Now, Tompkins will go have a man of the match display against.
But you feel like Bamford can maybe get in against Tompkins and Gay a bit more than they could against.
Klein and Tompkins on that right hand side, probably, won't it?
Probably, yeah. Which is very championshipy.
Yeah, so that's what Harrison's really. If he's starting left, which he probably will be, he's got to go for it. He really has to go for it.
I don't think Klein's fit either.
Who would they play right back then? Joel
Ward, yeah.
Even that, you know what I mean? Klein or Joel Ward, it's a bit.
Joel Ward's not exactly the quickest, is he? No. So
I actually used to tell people I was related to Joel Ward for, I don't know, it's not even really a flex, is it? He's just a bang average
in
Palace
school,
player.
Like that.
Yeah, it was. I was like, I know Joel Ward, I'm related to him. But I think if Leeds can keep the, I don't even think chances-wise, I think we'll get chances that game. It's just we've got to keep the players like Eze and Zaha quiet, and then I think we could do something.
Give me a score prediction then.
I'll give you a 2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds. What about you, Max? Thoughts on the game and a score prediction, Paul?
It's hard to predict this one, isn't it? Because of all the things that we've all just said.
Yeah.
But I think it could be 2-0 to Leeds.
Love it.
Nice. I hope you're right. I think
a nice comfortable 2-0 where we're not stressing too much. We go 2-0 up in the first half, and then we just cruise to victory.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
not.
that'd be
That's
nice.
That's not a lead. That's not Leeds, there, is it?
No, it's not.
No, I don't think that'll happen.
What are you saying, Joe? What do you think?
I think we'll struggle, mate. But I am going to try and be positive, and I 1-1. But I think a point away at Selhurst Park's a very good result. Yeah, I do think it's a good result. And then we've got Arsenal at home, and we move. But I think a point away from home against Crystal Palace. It's a good point. It's a good point. They're a great side, and people are letting their league position shroud them.
Definitely. No game in the Premier League is easy. Like, we play Leicester in a few weeks, and as much as they've been a bit I think they could turn us. They could easily turn us over. I
think they probably will. They've probably turned a corner now after the Forest result, and that was another one when I was looking at this run between now and the World Cup, where I was like, win Villa, point at Selhurst Park, lose to Liverpool, lose to Arsenal, beat Fulham, and then I'm looking at it now and I'm like, we might only beat Fulham, and that's not
Fulham. Right?
Nothing's guaranteed.
2 more points than us.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed in this league, and that's why when it comes back to the point of we just got to be, positive when we can and take the points when we can. With the point, yes, the Aston Villa performance was awful, but at the end of the day, 10 men, we held on to a point. I think, no one remembers the performance. You only remember the points on the board. So that's what we've got to focus on.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And fingers crossed, Patrick Bamford's leading the line. Rodrigo's behind him. Aronson on the right. Harrison on the left. Tyler Adams and Rocker. And then a back four of Cooper, Koch, I think Firpo potentially, and Rasmus Christensen. I think, but fingers crossed. Hopefully next week's episode will be a little bit more positive, and we will have had a positive result, and we'll have a lot to talk about going into the Arsenal game, which are one of the most informed teams in the league for sure. JT's,
I said they're going to get smacked.
Yeah, no, just saying JT's just about to go football. Max, have you got anything on?
Have I got what, sorry?
Have you got anything on this evening, Paul?
No, I might go and take the dog for a walk.
Nice. I'll be doing that as well. What about you, Ollie?
Mate, I'm just playing FIFA, mate. Just playing FIFA. Enjoying it. I've been seeing you, Joe, but unfortunately... Well, actually, no, you can play crossover this year, can't you?
Yes, yeah, you can play cross-platform. So if anyone wants the smoke...
Mate,
it's funny you should say that. Lewis was in my comments when I was playing FIFA earlier, giving it the big one, and he said he'd give me 30,000 coins. So I said, right, okay, come on then, let's play. I beat him 1-0. Do you know what I mean? But it was given. Admittedly, I had 2 shots and he had about 30, but I still beat him.
That's right.
That's Lewis, man. Lewis's cheeks, bruv, are not the good kind.
I think
I'll be eating them.
I would confidently say I'm the best Leeds United content creator at FIFA.
You get smoked that ball in real life. You get smoked that ball on the computer.
Mate, we need
kind of ball you want. I would smoke you.
Shut up. We need a Leeds content creator charity match. We need it.
Mate, you just get shown up, man.
Whoever's
team I'm on would literally just win like 40-0. So there's literally no point. Might as well just put everyone against me.
If you play anything like Firpo, I ain't worried, mate.
Exactly. Me and Firpo, 2 cooks are the same. Now, I reckon we could have a bit of link-up play down there. I think, actually, we just put the midgets on one team. Midget link-up play. Me, Joe. I don't know if there's anyone else. Just me and Joe, just 1-2s through the park, man. But anyway, I do have to run because my cab is here. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you are to scores on the doors, though, Leeds are going to smack them, and it's going to be 3-0 Leeds. Firpo hat-trick. You've seen it here first. You heard it here first. Senior Daddy tier subscription, Firpo. But I do have to run, so I love you all. Thank you very much, man. It's been a pleasure, and love to the people.
Please.
See you in a bit, boy.
JT has gone. Let me just... Ollie can't
look
see.
over that.
There we go. Boys, what's going on this week then on the channels? We'll start with you, Max. What have you got for the fans of the Leeds lady?
Are there any? I will be doing a live stream of the game on the weekend. There's not that much news or anything going around at the moment, is there? So there's not much midweek content to create. So think yourselves lucky that you've got this to watch.
Yeah,
it's been bad, and since Queen Elizabeth died, it's just gone.
There's not just really been anything. Well, I've been on holiday anyway,
and then it's gone.
Yeah,
I've been on
I'm just
holiday anyway, but there's just not much to talk about. So
I'm just trying to get a video out of something because I know as soon as I don't, then that's when it just people go, "Who's Ollie Ward again?" Do you know what I mean? That's the problem.
We should do a little FIFA tournament where we like, stream it on each person's channel. So you'd have like me against Ollie on my channel, and then me against Ollie on his channel, and then Joe against JT on Joe's channel and JT's
we'll definitely
channel.
have to do that.
The winners go together and stuff. At least there'll be something to watch for people.
We'll definitely get that going during the World Cup, 100%. Because I feel for that month, I think it's going to be a long month. I know there's England playing, but yeah, there we are.
I'm watching a Komodo dragon eat a goat here, and it is mental.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
it's literally swallowed it whole. That is insane. I'm going to retweet that for anyone who wants to watch that. That's just literally open mouthed. I'm like, oh my god. Ollie, what's going on your channel, brother?
Yeah, similar. The thing is, everyone and their dog is doing a live stream on Sunday, isn't there? I know you two are doing it. I think Connor's even doing one on Sunday. JT will be doing it, but I probably will be doing one as well. Midweek content. I mean, I've started my new job, so it's hard to get content out anyway, but there's nothing. So it's kind of been a bit of a blessing in disguise. I haven't missed on anything really, but yeah, just Sunday, there'll be some content. Don't you worry.
Class. Well, thank you as always for watching. Everybody who watches the channel, please do subscribe to the lads' channels. The links and channel names are in the title to this video, so make sure you check each of their content out, as it would be massively appreciated. Like this video on the way out as well. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll have a Premier League preview tomorrow evening with Corey and the rest of the gang, and we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in a bit.